Most super soil recipes online use around 40 pounds of organic and inorganic fertilizer inputs per cubic yard of mix. Here we're going to use around half that. I want to create a grower-friendly mix for cultivating fast-growing, light-loving fruiting annuals in containers indoors with the vegetative period of around 3 to 4 weeks before switching to flower. My basic indoor organic soil mix for container plants is based on 17 easily obtainable ingredients that fall into 4 main categories. And although it is basic, I am not. Fibrous textures, humic matter, aggregates, and nutrients all deal with each category in turn, and you'll find the full recipe in the video description below for those of you that think I talk too quickly. A concrete mixer is an ideal tool to blend all the ingredients together homogeneously. First, fibrous textures, really important. In fact, they make up half of the overall potting mix. 3 parts peat, 1 part aged redwood bark, and 1 part coconut coir, or 30%, 10%, and 10% respectively in terms of the overall mix. Essentially, these ingredients provide a physical structure for your potting mix. All these components should feel light and airy, so if your peat is compressed, you'll need to fluff it up a bit first. And who doesn't enjoy a little fluffing when they get the chance, huh? Look for growers, white sphagnum peat moss. I like the Canadian stuff, eh? Redwood bark should be ground up, aged at least 9 months, and from a sustainable source. It should feel really light and soft. Coco coir should be hydroponic grade, not the ornamental stuff, so that means well washed and buffered to ensure low salt levels. Next, humic matter. This makes up a quarter of the recipe. In terms of the overall mix, we're going to need 5% humus and 5% worm castings. Humic matter is essentially all about adding beneficial biology into your mix. Friendly bacteria, fungi, nematodes, and protozoa all work together to break down all the organic nutrients into a form that plants can assimilate, which makes your soil alive. Aggregates make up the other 25%. They help to improve the physical structure and porosity of your soil. They're great for improving drainage and air content, so important for healthy roots, and they allow you to feed your plants more often. The 25% aggregates is made up of 4 parts perlite to 1 part lava rock. Lava rock is denser than perlite, so it doesn't rise to the top. This helps to create homogeneous drainage throughout the media. So that's our base. Now it's time to add the main organic inputs, and this is where it gets very interesting and there's a lot of scope for experimentation and discussion. But remember though, my goal is simply to provide a broad spectrum of both quick, easily assimilated, and long-lasting fertility for a quick veg period and then straight into 8 to 10 weeks of flowering. I'm going to give you the doses in terms of pounds per cubic yard, grams per cubic foot, and grams per liter. Bat guano, aka bat poop, is an organic nitrogen powerhouse. Choose sustainably sourced stuff from Indonesia. It contains up to 50% soluble nitrate. Be careful, it's highly soluble, so if you use too much, you'll burn your plants. Some bat guano is low nitrogen and high phosphorus. It depends on the bat's diet, so always check the label. SEABIRD guano, cool, fossilized seabird poop, usually from Peru. Okay, it's a less soluble form of phosphorus, but slow release. Steamed bone meal, this is a byproduct of the meat industry. It provides twice as much phosphorus as seabird guano and also calcium with a small amount of nitrogen, but it's less soluble than the guanos, but complements them because it's slow release. Potassium sulfate, it's a mined mineral, available in refined inorganic form or organic, and as you'd expect, it provides sulfur and lots of potassium, so it's great for both flowering and vegetative growth. Highly concentrated, so do take care. Fine dolomite lime. We primarily add this for pH stabilization, but it's also a great slow-release source of calcium and magnesium. Don't overdo it or you'll lock out iron, which is a big no-no. Feather meal is basically powdered protein, very high in slow-release nitrogen to keep your plants green throughout their life cycle. AZOMITE, nothing comes even close to delivering all those super important trace elements at the right levels. It's mined from the Midwest USA. It isn't cheap, but it's incredible stuff, and hence you'll see it in almost every super soil recipe, and it also works great as a top dressing. Dried powdered sea kelp provides B vitamins, growth hormones, and trace elements. Watch out for elevated sodium though, and this stuff should be well washed. Finally, there's alfalfa meal. This is relatively low nutrients, but it has good slow-release nitrogen content as well as triacontanol, a natural plant growth hormone. Okay, that's it. Obviously, there's a lot of other stuff you could add too. I'll flash this up on the screen quickly, so get ready with that pause button. If you're starting off seedlings and cuttings, then I suggest you change my recipe so that it's faster draining and less dense in organic matter. A quick fix would be to blend it 1-to-1 with a soilless mix such as Vermicrop or Coco coir. Alternatively, you could buy a bag of medium-strength potting mix. Something like Vermisoil would be ideal. The truth is you'll have a hard time finding true organic super soil in bags, hence all the DIY recipes on the net. At this point, I should point out that there are amazingly rich and wonderful potting soils out there. And yes, they come in sealed bags, which makes the ride home a lot less messy. Vermisoil by Vermicrop Organics is widely regarded as friggin' awesome and definitely a favorite with growers. Notably, there's also its stronger and super potent big brother Vermifire, which is arguably right up there at the top end of what you can buy in terms of quality, decadence, and richness. Proponents of super soils claim this stuff is so nutritionally dense that it'll take a transplant right through to harvest with no need to top dress or to add any liquid fertilizers further down the line. Sounds great in theory, but bear in mind that the super soils are too rich for cuttings, seedlings, and young plants. You'll need a lighter mix. Questions and comments down below as always. Please log into YouTube and subscribe to my channel. Thanks for listening and happy growing, amigos. This is ever a star-shaped spread eagle smeared head to toe in seabird guano and lightly dusted in dolomite lime. Bye-bye.